Travis Kelce stood under the Kansas City sun, sweat still clinging to his brow, and his trademark grin seemed just a little wider that day. The energy at Chiefs training camp was electric, and everyone could feel it. When asked about his confidence in the game, Kelce didn't hesitate. Just the confidence of the game. I think that's the biggest thing that Fasano gave me, was that if you put the work in, if you understand the game mentally, you can play so much faster. He continued, praising teammate Noah for his quick grasp of the sport. Noah has a great understanding of the game. He has a good understanding what defenses are being presented in front of him. And that's half the battle, man. Knowing what the other side of the ball is doing, so you have an idea of what you should be doing. He's hit the ground running ever since we started. As reporters circled in, Adam Tyre stepped up, curious about the Chiefs' offensive formations. Earlier in your career with the Chiefs, you guys played a lot of multiple tight end formations. Maybe got away from that a little bit, and certainly looks like, particularly judging from what we saw today, you guys going to be doing a lot of that again. What are the advantages from your viewpoint to multiple tight end formations? Kelce leaned into the question with the ease of a veteran. The biggest thing is just the mismatches. It presents a different set of formations and a different set of rules for the defense to be more gap sound on the run game, but at the same time have an idea of more play action stuff. It puts for the most part, they bring in more linebackers. Or a bigger guy because we're bringing in bigger guys, right? So, they try and match the personnel, which can also kind of play in our advantage because we got guys that can run routes everywhere in the tight end room. So, it's just trying to take advantage of those mismatches and just be accountable for the team. Anything that Coach Reid can imagine, we want to be able to give him that option to call. Adam followed up, referencing Kelce's earlier remarks about the Browns being neck and neck with the Chiefs in the AFC. Can you elaborate on that? What you think about the Browns? Is it just hometown love? Kelce laughed. I grew up living in the any given Sunday world, man. Any team can beat you, right? I remember, I think it was 2015 or 2014, I forget which year it was, but the Raiders hadn't had a win on their schedule or in their season yet. We went into Oakland on a Thursday night and took a L to a team that was winless. I'm not saying that they're the Raiders by any means. I just think that, the Browns have done a great job of getting that organization back to a very respectable, very competitive team. With that, you got to respect everybody and give everybody your best shot. We're definitely not taking the Browns light, that's for sure. Another reporter, Sam Millinger, picked up the thread, wanting to know where Kelce saw the biggest threat in the AFC. Who do you see as sort of the biggest competitor, rival, or threat in the AFC to get back to the Super Bowl? Kelce didn't hesitate. We got 3 really good teams in the division. I'm not going to look past anybody in our division. If you look at the entire AFC, outside of the Raiders, Broncos, and Chargers, obviously the Browns, the Ravens. The Titans just got another huge piece to their offense that's very interesting. And who knows who's going to show up. There's a lot of good young teams, like a Miami. You got to be ready. You can't forget about the Bills. There's teams all over the place that can come up and get a win. You just got to respect them all and go to work every single week. The questions kept coming, each one digging a little deeper into the Chiefs' mindset. Aaron wanted to know about Le'Veon Bell's comments on his way out. A lot of noise around Le'Veon Bell and what he had to say on the way out. I'm curious if you're surprised to hear that from a guy that's been inside that locker room, and maybe if you listen to that in relation to your experience. Kelce's answer was straightforward. Yeah, I was surprised. I think Le'Veon, when he came here, was a very hard worker. He was a pro's pro. He was working his tail off in practice. I think there was a little bit of his body. He was a little banged up there towards the end of the season. I was excited when we got him. I was hoping that he was going to be able to help us out a lot. It's just, you never like to see things like that, especially when I think so highly of a guy like Le'Veon and like Coach Reid. It's just unfortunate, but I don't talk about other guys' situations. I don't know what happened between them. I just appreciate Le'Veon coming in and working as hard as he did, because I know it was a unique and different situation that he was in. Man. Darren Smith stepped up next, asking about mindset changes. Over the years, especially after seasons that ended in heartbreak or triumph. How does the mentality change from the first year when you all missed out on going to the Super Bowl to the next year winning? And then the year after you lose the Super Bowl? What's the mindset and work ethic in coming back the following season like that? Kelce didn't skip a beat. I think right now everybody's more motivated now than we were before we won a Super Bowl. I think everybody's still got a bad taste in our mouth from how we finished the season last year. That's fueling the fire. We got a lot of guys flying around right now, excited to come to practice, excited to go to work, and excited to try and get this thing rolling in the right direction early and keep it in that direction. For the most part, the mentality's always been the same, man. We're going to go into this season trying to win every single football game, whether home or away. With that mentality, the sky's the limit. We'll let everything else play out how it goes. Darren had a follow-up about the championship rings. Obviously, last year you were in the mix, I guess, in the design of the Super Bowl ring. Have they come to you about the AFC championship ring, or do you have any input? Travis's answer was quick and honest. I only want to see rings that I win. I don't want to see the rings that I lose, man. So, I'll just leave it at that. Saren Petro had the final question, focusing on the changing roster. There's more turnover, especially along the offensive line. Even receivers, Sammy moving on. Does that add maybe some energy to the room, or is it something you got to drag them and bring them up to speed and get them up to your level? How does that dynamic work? Kelce explained, the coaches in the front office did a great job of bringing in guys that are ready to work. They brought in championship-level guys, guys that have been in the playoffs, guys that have been in Super Bowls, guys that are just pros. That's the biggest thing, to have a culture like Coach Reid has laid the foundation here. The leaders in this building have laid the foundation. It makes it easy for guys that are professionals, that want to go to work and win, and it means something to them to come in and find that culture and appreciate it and add to it. That's something I've always loved about Coach Reid. Being here 9 years now, you see a lot of guys come and go. A lot of guys that you wish we could have never let go. That's the business of the NFL. You got to be able to every single year reboot that entire chemistry, the entire team. Every year is a new year. No matter who's in the building, no matter who you got to be able to create that new team with the guys that are in the building. And through all the football talk, there was another reason for Kelce's glowing demeanor, and it was impossible not to notice. When the media turned to his relationship with Taylor Swift, the smile on his face was undeniable, his eyes sparkling brighter than the championship trophies in the Chiefs' front office. Reporters wanted to know how he balanced the demands of his career with his personal life, especially with such a high-profile partner. Kelce didn't hesitate to open up. She gives me a peace that I have never had before, he said, sitting on the sidelines with his shirt still damp from practice. When asked about what keeps him stable during the grueling training camp, Kelce chuckled. Nothing makes me feel more stable than knowing that there is someone who always believes in me and supports me. Taylor is that to me. He described Taylor Swift as influential but extremely simple to be around, and revealed a sweet detail. The pop superstar sometimes pens him impromptu lyrics in quiet Kansas City evenings, little cheer-ups before a new season. She's a gentle, motivating presence, he said. Kelce brushed aside the idea that dating a pop star could be a distraction. She's not just supportive of my career, she understands the pressure. Taylor always reminds me that whether I win or lose, I'm still the man she's proud of. He shared that Taylor had even shown up to a few closed Chiefs practices, quietly cheering him on, never demanding the spotlight, but always giving him extra courage.